Hi students, it's Dr. Allington here, and just checking in to update you on the course and how I am revising the course for the remainder of the semester. So sorry we've been out of touch for so long. Hope you know all haven't been too disrupted by these changes, and I hope that this course continues to be rewarding for you as indeed it has been for me. One point of business before we move forward. And I give you a bit of a guided tour of the Blackboard shell, and that is that my office hours from this point onwards will be by appointment only. That's not to say that I'm reducing the time that I'm spending in the office and the time I'm willing to meet with you in any way. It's just that I'm not simply sure moving ahead that I can guarantee that I will always have access to my office at those times. So I'm just asking you that whenever you want to meet with me, that you send me an email and we set up a time either to talk on the phone or to video conference. I mean, anything we can settle over email if that's easier, more than happy to do that as well. In general, for face-to-face students, you should expect as we make this transition that you should meet with me more in office hours rather than less. And I encourage all of you to take advantage of this. Anything that you're unsure about in the course, please make sure you're reaching out to me. I would suggest that you anticipate planning to talk with me at least twice before the end of the semester. And if you want to talk multiple times a week, I'm more than happy to do that if it's productive, if it helps you to get a better grade. It helps you to be more successful, helps you to better understand the material. So don't think that this change in office hours is because I don't want to meet with you. I do, but I think that this will give us more flexibility to adapt to this new situation as we move forward. So just to have that out of the way, and now we'll look a little more at how I've revised the course. Fortunately for us, not much is changing. This course was already designed as a hybrid class, and so for media-sized students, your experience isn't changing at all. Really, I can't think of any way in which it's changing. And most of these changes are for the face-to-face students who are now becoming distance learning students. One thing that is new for all of you is the new schedule that you can find here right at the top of the home page on Blackboard. And so basically the way that I'm changing this class now is that instead of having a first 3 quarters of the semester that's heavily based on content, followed by a last part of the semester that's more emphasizes student presentations. From now on, we're going to have much more content-heavy second part of the semester, and the presentations will just come at the end, and your delivery of the presentations will be a much smaller part of the class. So you can see here the schedule that I set out for us, and the first assignment is going to be due on Wednesday, a week from today, 3 days after the semester officially restarts again. And so now, since we're all online students, we're all going to be completing the discussion boards together. And that's something that I'll come to in a little more detail later in this video. But for now, I just want you to be aware of the fact that we have these discussion boards, that you need to participate in them frequently, at least 4 times a week. And so that you're aware of that going forward. We have that one seminar that we couldn't get to before the midterm, so that's what we're going to begin with, the seminar on the expansion of crusading, Spain, and in Livonia and the Northern Crusades. So if you're presenting, or you were scheduled to present on one of those topics, your source presentation will also be due at this time. And then we follow a pretty similar structure. I'm going to record the lectures, and then you guys will complete the discussion boards. I'll be participating in those discussion boards with you. The discussions and the days when assignments are typically going to be due are on Wednesdays. That wasn't by design necessarily, that's just the way it worked out, but just something to keep in your mind. Wednesdays will typically be the day you have material due in this class. Major assignments coming up. Term presentation text. I've bumped this back about 10 days or so. Don't want to take it back any further than that. And so talk to me if you're worried about that, if you're concerned about that. Make sure you say something sooner rather than later. Make sure from the time the semester restarts again on Monday, you have a plan going forward for how you're going to complete this part of the assignment. It's really foundational to the rest of the presentation grade, which is going to be foundational to the rest of your grade in the course because it's worth 30% of your final grade. And then the other dates to be aware of is April the 22nd, when your term presentation PowerPoint is due. Again, something to ask for help on, something to show me drafts of if you're uncertain. And then right towards the end of the semester, you can see that towards the end here we have 3 seminars in a row, 3 discussion boards in a row. So that'll be pretty intense. So keep that in mind. And last week of April will be a heavy discussion time for this class. And then you'll upload your presentations, video of you giving your presentations. Again, if there's something you need technical assistance with, make sure you ask me well ahead of time. And then there will be a final exam. The final exam for this class is only worth 10% of your final grade. So it's actually not a huge deal, not something you have to be worried about. The main thing you need to be concerned about is to be consistent, keeping up with these discussion boards, and in keeping up with your presentation materials as those due dates come around. Okay, I'm just going to talk a little bit more about each of these assignments in turn as we move forward. So what will your weeks look like? You'll find the lectures here under the media site tab. I've already started recording these lectures. I recorded the Fourth Crusade lecture today, the lecture that's I've scheduled here for March the 27th. But if you want to move around a little bit when you watch the lectures, that's fine. That's fine by me, as long as you're not moving too far ahead of the discussion boards. Otherwise, you're going to kind of end up with 2 classes, and that's probably not going to be very helpful. And then, so you watch the lectures that I'll give, and then you'll participate in the discussion boards, which you find, surprisingly enough, under the discussion board tab. One other thing to mention here that I have added in, I've really enjoyed all the questions, some really good questions that you guys have had in this class so far. And so I've created this lecture questions discussion board. And I encourage you, if you have questions that aren't necessarily related to the weekly discussions, but are related to the lectures that you want to ask, I encourage you to go ahead and post those here. I've created a thread for each of the different lectures. So any questions about the lecture, post them there. I'd love to have a conversation, keep a conversation going about that as we move through the rest of the semester. Back to the regular discussion boards, and you can see that I'm in a student preview, so everything that you see in this video should look the same when you open your Blackboard shell. Here we have the seminar that's coming due on Wednesday, so make sure you participate here. You have to post your own thread before you start participating on the threads of others, so you just create your own thread. I think I can show you here. Yeah, you create your own thread and then you participate. Just to flag the instructions for those who haven't been participating in the seminars up until this point, I've been participating in person rather than online. Wait for Blackboard, here it is. You just have to choose one of the questions below, and notice that I've also incorporated the secondary source that's scheduled for this seminar as well. So choose one of these questions to answer and then comment on 3 other students' posts. One thing I would say, a couple of things I would say is, one, make sure you're proofreading your posts. Computer makes it so easy to do that now. It's unnecessary to have really silly spelling errors or grammatical errors. And 2, make sure you're participating significantly before the deadline. You guys are experienced students. I don't feel the need to nanny you, but if all your posts are kind of redundant, one word, and you're posting them on March the 25th at 11:50, then don't expect a high grade. Okay, so get involved in the discussion. In this one, you want to be making your initial post on Monday. From that point on, always make your initial post early in the week, and then your participation grade will be consistently high. Again, always ask me if you have any questions. So these are the discussion boards. They're all the same as we move through. And so I'm going to move on just to the assignment section of the course. Again, this is an online class or a class that was already enabled for distance learning students, designed for distance learning students. And so, as some of you have already found, you can upload these assignments online. The sources that you're presenting on, these source presentations that you have, these have not changed. And you can find which ones you're presenting on in the course schedule that I'll come to in a second. But so these source presentations, these can be uploaded online. Same with the term presentation text, term presentation PowerPoint, and the video of your term presentation. So this is something, making a video of ourselves, maybe we haven't all done this before. If you need help, make sure you ask. But saying I couldn't work out how to do a video after May the 4th is not an excuse that's going to get you off a zero. I need to have that video by May the 4th, and I'm willing to go all lengths of the world in order to help you get it done, but you have to take ownership of asking me if you need help. So make sure that that is submitted in due time. Course schedule and assignments is the last, or basically the last tab that we're going to look at. So media sites, where you find the lectures, discussion board for the seminars, assignments when you have an assignment coming due that you need to upload. I'll continue to post the PowerPoints here for the lectures. And then here we have the course schedule that I have updated. So here we have March the 25th, when these readings come due. This means that I'm expecting source presentations to be uploaded by these particular students: Alexandria, Cade, Linda, William, Joe, and Jerome. And then I'm also expecting Cade and Linda and James to be uploading secondary source reviews. So make sure you keep track of these. These haven't changed. You're still expected to do 6 of the source presentations. You're still expected to do 1 of the secondary source reviews. I think that's all I have. I was very impressed with the midterms. It's easy to lose track of that now, but we don't want to lose sight of the important things. A lot of the midterms are really good, especially the maps, which people I know are worried about. So good job on that. If you have any questions about your grade, you have any questions about your midterm, please contact me, and more than happy to talk about that and talk that through with you. One thing that I want to remove right away is I don't want there to be any confusion about this moving forward. And I certainly don't want you to come to the end of the semester and use an argument and say that you were confused and use that as an excuse for not doing as well as you could have done. If you are confused, please contact me as soon as possible. I'll do everything I can to help you understand what you need to do to be successful in the course and to help you to be successful. So just to reiterate, please don't hesitate to reach out. I hope you're all well, and look forward to continuing our learning together. Thank you.